Hi, ladybugs. There's Morgan sitting on the camera. I just dressed her in something different. I thought it was cute on her. And I'll show you guys in a second. I just had to go fill up my spray bottle. See? With my blend of... I'm just grabbing Berkeley because we're going to dress her today. And then we'll figure out what she's going to wear. So there's Miss Berkeley. I love that outfit, though. I love that little checkered jumper. I think it's so cute. But let me find something else for her to wear. So how are you guys doing today? Is everybody doing good? I hope so. I'm doing all right. Having a little bit of a bad few days, but all in all, I'm okay. Just had a lot of problems with pain and stuff in my body, so I'm just down. I think we'll put this on Berkeley. Okay, hold on. I'm just taking my shoes off so I can step over there without stepping on things. Okay, there we go. All right, hold on to that for a second, Morgan. Berkeley, come here, baby. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are all doing good. Doesn't Morgan look cute in this? She always looks like she's looking directly at the camera, you know? Like she knows where to look. It's so cute. There's Miss Morgan. All right, let me put Morgan down. All right, there we go, Morgan. All right, let's get Berkeley. So I've been doing some research on some oil information so I can start presenting that. So I should start, I told you one of the videos a week is going to be focused on health and wellness, which is like essential oils. And I'll still be playing with the babies. I'll just be talking about it while I'm playing with them. So you guys won't lose out on any baby time. This is such a cute little outfit. I love this. It's so cute. Little checkers. I would totally wear that if it was my size. I totally would. I can't wait to paint Berkeley. I think she looks so pretty with some color. It's been a nice day here. It's not too hot. It's been nice. I think it's been like the upper 80s today. Had a little bit of an argument with Angie, so that's not fun, but not a big deal. We only fight like once every 2 years and then we make up, so it's no big deal. So I've just been hanging out today, relaxing. Here's Miss Berkeley. She's the Leontine. I think that's how you say it. Leontine. That's how it's spelled, so that's how I say it. I don't know if that's correct, though, but we'll see. I've just had a lot of pain. My bladder's really hurting after this change. I think I'm getting an infection, so I probably will have to go to the doctor at some point, but I hate going to the doctor. So we'll see. I'm kind of hoping it'll clear itself up and I won't have to go. Abby's doing better now that there's no fireworks. So I was going to talk a little bit about my past, my childhood, so you guys have an idea of who I am. So I was born here in Oregon, but I lived most of my life in Connecticut. And the reason that is because back then, they didn't have computer systems. Everything was on paper. So when people got involved with CPS, they would just like run to another state because everything was on paper. So if you went to another state, then nobody knew you had anything going on. And so my parents, when CPS would get involved, they would just they had family both here and in Connecticut. So they would just go back and forth between the two states, between Connecticut and Oregon. And doesn't she look cute? And so when CPS got involved, my parents just went back to Connecticut on a Greyhound bus and got out of trouble. And so finally, when I was, and we had been in and out of foster care for years, probably between like 6 months old and 5. And then when I was in Connecticut, they finally took us away for the last time, away from my parents. And we ended up being in foster care for a few years, 4 or 5 years. And then when I was 10, my sibling and I were adopted. And that was, I thought that when you see the movies, I thought that when I got adopted, it would be this like Cleaver family type thing, but it wasn't. And I lived with my mom until I was 15, and then she threw me out. And so I've been on my own since I was 15. So I raised myself basically. I graduated high school at 16 and did some college then, but not a lot. And so I did a few semesters of college right out of high school, but not a lot of them. And then, yeah, so that was basically my childhood. We were in and out of foster care like 17 different times. And they kept sending us back to our parents. That's the biggest problem with CPS, is that they give the parents too many rights. I mean, really, how many chances do you need to mess up a kid, right? So they would like take a parenting class and then they would get us back. And then, oh, hold on one second. I just got really, really dizzy. Sorry about that. Sorry, I got really dizzy and then that led to severe nausea. So I'm better now though. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, we went back and forth with our parents like 17 different times, and then they finally took their rights away after years and years of BS. And then I was 10 when I was adopted. So I was in foster care. They took their rights away when I was 5, and then almost 6. And then at 10, I was adopted, and I lived with my mom for 5 years, and then I was out on my own. I was basically an emancipated minor because I was so young, but I had to live on my own. So I got a caseworker and she helped me get an apartment and all that. So, yeah. Oh, I got spray all over her. I hate when that happens. It happens all the time. I have to get better spray bottles, I think. I think my spray bottles just kind of stink because they spray everywhere. Where did the brush go? I don't know where the brush went. Here, you want to hold a toy while I'm doing your hair? Here, hold this toy. So anyway, so yeah, so that was basically my childhood. There was a lot more to it, but I'm not going to get into all of it. I'm just giving you like the basic rundown. So then when I was adopted, I thought, you see it on like, when I was young, we used to see like, they had different families on TV, like the Cleavers and the Brady Bunch. Well, that was a little before that time, but not a lot. And then they had like, Growing Pains, and those were the shows that I watched, like Growing Pains and Full House. And I thought when I got adopted, I would be adopted by a family like that, and it would be all great and wonderful, but it wasn't. But I was happy to get out of the foster care system, because in the foster care system, it's just like, it sucks. So I was really happy that I was out of the foster care system. And then, I didn't have a bad life. I was out on my own. I learned to do a lot for myself really quick. So it wasn't too bad. But I was out on my own, like I said, at 15, just after I turned 15. I turned 15 in July, and I was kicked out of my house. And I wasn't, let me just point out before people like say anything in the comments, I wasn't kicked out because of something I did. I was kicked out because of something somebody else did. But it is what it is, what it is, what it is. And I grew up, pretty independent. I mean, I didn't have anyone to rely on, so I grew up independent. And I made a good life for myself, after I moved out of my house with my mom. And I waited till I was much older to have kids. I was 28 when my first was born and 30 when I had my second. So I didn't have kids real young or anything because, I knew I couldn't care for them. So yeah, but that was basically my youth. I spent a lot of time in some psychiatric hospitals because I had a lot to work through and a lot to deal with. And I'm not ashamed of that because I don't think there's anything wrong with asking for help. And I really needed help at that time. But then once I got into my 20s, I got back on my feet and I kind of put the past behind me and didn't really let it bother me too much. And that's the trick about anybody's past, is you fail when you let your past affect your present. You know what I mean? Like that's when the people who hurt you win. Like you can't let your past dictate your present. You have to put it behind you and move on and find a life for yourself. And I know that seems easier said than done, but I mean, trust me when I say I was in that situation and I'm not just whistling Dixie. I know what it's like to have to put your past behind you. But, you basically give power to those that hurt you when you let your past become or affect your present. That's why it's important to just put it behind you, even though that's hard to do. And I know it's hard to do. But it's important because you have to do what you have to do for you. And you can't let issues in the past become or affect your present because then they win, and we don't want the people that hurt us to win. So it's really important that you put your past behind you and be able to move forward with your life because you can only blame your parents for so long, regardless of what they did. Eventually you have to be responsible for your own life. And that's a whole, it may sound harsh what I'm saying, but it's the best advice anybody's going to give you. Trust me. I started getting my life together when somebody told me that. Before that, when I was 25 is when I was told that. And before that, I wasn't doing well in my life. I was letting my past really have a huge effect on my present. And I had a therapist that told me that once, and it sounded harsh at the time, but when I really thought about it, I made very different choices for my life. So, I'm just telling younger people, don't let your past affect your present, make your past your past. We are all the product of our past. We are all the product of our present. We are all the product of genetic and environmental factors. But if you let your past dictate your present, then you are letting those that hurt you win, and nobody wants that. How does she look? Does she look cute? You like the piggy? So don't let people that hurt you win. Live your life for you and make it the best life you can be, because you only get this one, You only get this one life. After that, you don't get anything else. So make it the best you can make it, because you only get this one, and it should be the best that you can possibly get. It's important to see yourself as the most important person in your life, because nobody else will if you don't. You know what I mean? Nobody else will see you as the most important person in their life if you don't see yourself that way. Everything you do should be for your benefit. And I mean, if you have kids, for their benefit too, but you can't take care of your kids if you don't take care of their mother. You know what I mean? So you guys should always do the best you can do to make your life wonderful. Because like I said, first of all, it's very short. You never know when it's going to end. And second of all, it's you only get one. So make it worth it. If you want to travel or you want to go somewhere, save up the money and go. You know, you don't have unlimited time to do the things you want to do in this life. And you only get this one, I believe. So make your life the miracle that you want it to be. Be the hero of your own story. Take care of yourself and be positive, because whatever you put out into the universe is what will come back to you. If you're a constantly negative person and you constantly put negativity out into the universe, what you're going to get back is negativity. You know, you need to put out positivity so that what you get back is positivity. You know what I mean? That's really important. I'm looking for the pants for that skirt outfit, but I don't see them here. I gotta hang clothes up again. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. So yeah, just do the best you can do to be the best you can be, and know that you're doing the best you can do. And if you know that about yourself, then you're doing awesome. So here's Berkeley, all dressed. She's so cute. I can't wait to put some color and some depth on her. I think she'll be so pretty. I mean, she's pretty now, but she's just really pale, you know. I want to add some depth and some color to her to get her all colored up, you know. Let's put her over there. I got to rearrange the babies too tomorrow. And here's Chessie. Here's Chessie. She's so cute. Chessie is the Maggie by Natalie Blick. I love Chessie. I just want to fix her hair because she had a bonnet on for a couple of weeks. And so her hair got kind of flattened. Let me see where that spray went. Chessie, where'd the spray go? I lost the spray. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I never brush their hair without spraying it first because it breaks the mohair if it, or any hair if it's not moist. So I never brush their hair until I spray it, because it'll break the hair and then you'll have all these different length hairs, and I really don't like that. So I always try to moisten the hair before I do anything with it. Chessie, what are you doing? You're looking up at me. You're supposed to be looking straight ahead. So probably tomorrow I'll do my first oil video. And actually, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it with the babies or if I'm just going to do it at the table so that you guys can like decide if you want to watch it or not. I might do it that way. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Should I recite the information while playing with the babies, or should I sit at the table and do it? Or should I not do it at all? What do you guys think? I value your opinion. I appreciate all the support I get from you guys. It really makes a difference. It makes me feel really good about myself. And I haven't felt that for a long time, so I'm very thankful to you guys. Thank you so much for the time that you take to write a comment or hit the like button or anything. It really makes a difference in the algorithm. I can reach more people every time you guys hit the like button or every time you leave a comment. It makes a huge difference. I was going to change her, but I really like this outfit on her, so I don't think I'll change her yet. It's so cute on her, isn't it? Look at how cute she is. I gotta iron this lace down. It's like sticking up, or maybe it's supposed to be up. I think it's supposed to be up. It's just not up in this one little area. And then down here it's down. That's so cute. Look at that embroidery. I wonder if these were handmade back in the day or if they were made by machines. Do you guys know the answer? Like vintage clothes like this, were they made by machines or were they handmade? I don't know. I think it almost looks like they were handmade, but I don't know. Maybe you could get a machine to do that back then. I don't know. But anyway, there's Chessie. Francesca, but I call her Chessie. Isn't she cute? I love her so much. She's such a cutie. I have a boy Maggie too. His name is Ryan. There's Chessie. Look at those big eyes. She looks so cute. Very cute, kiddo. You look adorable. You look adorable in this outfit. So there's the babies for today. We did Berkeley and we did Chessie. And then I have to clean up the clothes tomorrow. And then I'll figure out whether, based on the comments, I'll figure out if you guys want to learn more about essential oils or not. If not, then I'll just skip it. So let me know what you think. And I would be very interested. All right, ladybugs. It's going to be a shorter video today just because I'm not feeling well. Talk to you later. Love you. Bye.